Jesus. What's going on, guys? It's EP from the Coaches Vault. I got 4 other great coaches with me today. I got Dustin over here. I got Marcus. I got Leo, even though it says Taylor. Okay, but that's Leo right there. Obviously, you guys know. And then that's Emily, and that's Emma Reed on the side. Okay, today we're going to be talking about 2 topics. We're going to be talking about, does being labeled a coach or labeling yourself a coach necessarily make you a leader? And what we think about how post opening back up after COVID-19 is going to look for the fitness industry. Is it going to change? How drastically is it going to change? And what do you think the future is going to look like for the next couple years or a year or so? All right, so why don't we go off to the first kind of idea? Why don't we think about does calling yourself a coach or being labeled as a coach necessarily make you a leader? Why don't we start with Leo today? What do you think that necessarily means?
The answer is no. Getting labeled a coach just gives you a foot in the door to be labeled as a leader. But I know more people who aren't coaches that are better leaders than I know coaches who are leaders. So just like when you get a degree, you don't come out of college making 6 figures. It gives you the opportunity, a higher chance to make 6 figures. So I think the label just lets people open up to you more as becoming that leader. But it's nothing to
I think you have to define what a coach is too, because a lot of people don't understand what a coach is compared to comparing it to a trainer. You don't understand the 2 different aspects of what a coach or what a trainer is, or that person who's just standing there with a clipboard telling you what to do. So I think if we can actually define what a coach is and tell people, it actually makes them understand this is why when you label somebody a coach, it's different from labeling them a trainer or labeling them your friend or something like that. So that's the first step we definitely need to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's a big deal. Like people call me a personal trainer, but no, I'm a coach. But then at the same time, I don't necessarily have my own definition for it, but I understand I hold myself to a different standard. You know what I mean? But what exactly is that level of standard that you kind of go from I'm just a personal trainer to I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be called a coach? Is it the level of leadership that you give? Is it the quality of training that you give? Or is it what you do? And I think action's more important than anything, but that's just my spiel. But what Marcus says, I think that's a great question. What is what? What is a trainer? What is a coach? And what is a leader in general? But let's go. We'll stick with the question. But I want to go back to that. I think that's a great segue. So, Dustin, what do you think? Being a leader, being a coach, kind of thing.
Being a coach doesn't make you a leader. Of course, we know that. But becoming a leader, you have to develop those relationships with those that are willing to follow. You have to prove that you can, if not be able to lead by example, have been able to do that prior. Some of the greatest coaches I know, Coach Gail Hatch, towards later on in his coaching career, he kind of bound to a chair and coaching with the PVC pipe, but got the job done and created some of the greatest Olympic lifting athletes. So being a leader is just developing those relationships, having those communication skills, and then kind of talking about the difference between the coach and a personal trainer. I don't know the entire thing off the top of my head, but there's a picture kind of with a bunch of quotes saying a bunch of things about how a trainer is one that'll count your reps, but a coach is someone that can make your reps count and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I love that. Yeah, that's great. And then Emily, what do you think?
As far as I agree with all of y'all. With coaches, don't necessarily mean that you're a leader, but I think being a coach means building rapport with your athletes, not only just your athletes, with your clients. If you train people and the general population, I think it's all about relationships, and I think it's about how you lead and how you carry yourself, more so than anything. And if you practice what you preach, which EP, you talk about it all the time, I think you will have more people that respect you and follow you, and so they look up to you.
Yeah, I think what she said. I think leader, being a leader is kind of more of a verb than anything. Even though it kind of, if you think about it, obviously it's a name, but coach is a name. Leader is a verb. Leader and coaching go together. I don't think they're separated whatsoever to a certain extent. But I think if you're gonna label yourself a coach, especially like these nowadays, like everybody's gonna go ahead and label themselves a coach, even though they don't have the degree or they don't have whatever they need to do. They're gonna label themselves a coach. But if you're gonna label yourself a coach, you gotta hold yourself to a certain standard. And I think that's what Dustin's saying about trainers count their reps and then coaches actually make the reps count is a big deal. Like actionable betterment of people's lives is something that we do. And I think if you think about it like this, I think a trainer will get you better in the gym, a coach will get you better in life.
I also think coaches are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Really good coaches are vulnerable because they make mistakes, and they are ones to own up to their mistakes rather than trying to cover them up and kind of, push them to the side and try to make excuses for whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I think great leaders are also very vulnerable people.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm. And piggybacking off of that, coaches, we're always learning, we're always growing, our profession is always moving further. Being a leader and being a coach is being vulnerable, and if you don't know something, hey, look, I don't know everything there is to know about it, but I'm willing to learn and I can get back to you on it.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason I kind of like wrote the great world is the first sentence I put is it depends. And I think that's kind of like in the vocabulary as a coach. Like it has to be number one. Because if you're going to go ahead and somebody ask you a question and you immediately know the answer, like, well, how long have you known this person? Like, how does he move? How does she move? Like, that's why I have a big fear of like answering people's questions about their body, like through like DM and stuff like that. I mean, like I can't answer that question. I have no idea who you are. You know what I mean? Like there's no, I can give you tips to do that, but I can't go ahead and give you the quality things you need to do. And I think that's the difference is just understanding what you're capable of and then elevating people to your own capabilities and then going from there. I think that's a big thing.
This is really weird that you asked this question. Did any of y'all watch The Last Dance last night?
No, I
haven't recorded.
Okay, well, it's about.
Don't spoil it.
I try not to spoil it. One of the parts is just it goes like into a little detail about Dennis Rodman being Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And if you know Dennis Rodman, he's just like way out in left field, doesn't care. Randomly in the middle of the season, he needed a break, so he just told Phil Jackson, "Hey, I need to go to Vegas." And Phil brought in Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Brought in Michael Jordan was like, this guy needs a break. We know he's amazing. What should we do? And Michael was like, give him 48 hours.
Yeah.
And so they let Dennis go to Vegas for 48 hours. The coach, who's Phil Jackson, and Michael Jordan, who's the leader of the team, they understood Dennis Rodman and what he needed, and to get the best out of him, they let him get it out of his system. They brought him back, and he started, I think it was like runner-up and defensive player of the year, 20 pounds a game. So both a coach and a leader combined, they get the most out of the people.
Yeah, I think that what that has to go with is that the fact that being a leader necessarily kind of like, I think the difference between a coach and a trainer, that's where I was going. The difference between a coach and a trainer is that a coach knows not only the body, but knows how to get people better. A trainer just knows the body. I think it's a kind of a limitation that you have there. Like we're getting you better people by knowing your weaknesses and trying to make them stronger, or even getting your strengths stronger. I think trainers just go ahead and just do not necessarily the bare minimum, because I don't want to go ahead and knock out any trainers that are up there like watching this. But if you want to level yourself up and you want to call yourself a coach, you got to go ahead and do more of the motivational and kind of like other aspects than just fitness and life. It's just a mind game, exactly, and understanding that.
Well, that's why. No offense to cut you off, but that's why I asked. That question is like we have to define what a coach is compared to what a trainer is. Well, because I've had a trainer for almost and a coach for the past almost 10 years of my life. He's been the same person, been my mentor. But the thing is that as a trainer, we have to, dissect a movement and tell the person why they're doing it so that they can understand. But just like Evan said before, as a coach, you're getting that person better in life. So my coach will not only explain why I'm doing something, but also explain to me why I'm doing it for, better for my benefit of my life. But he also forces me to understand it myself by making me think about why I'm doing a certain aspect, certain movement. So now he's forcing me to come with the answer compared to a trainer who's giving you the answer. The coach is making you think for yourself to understand it. And that's where the definition comes.
Great. Yeah. I think knowledge and teaching, like, man, if you really think about it, like, what we're doing is teaching people. That's exactly what we're doing. Like if you're gonna put it into words, we're basically teachers of body and mind. And that's exactly what a coach is. And I think that's great, because I think, like, you're talking about Joe, and I know Joe does that, and he'll force you to get better. You know what I mean? He'll force you to answer your questions, to know, like, you should know this answer. Like, why don't you know it? And you actually force you to think, like, oh, wow, like, that's right. This is how I get better. And just that that little seed in the head, you get me? Like, that's how I try to talk to everybody, is just trying to be like, well, you know what's going on. Like, I can tell you so much, but you have to be the reason. I'm going to go ahead and plant the seeds in there, but they got to grow, and you got to go ahead and water them. Yeah, what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of a big thing. But yeah, if anybody else got anything on this, we'll move on. Or what do you guys think? I think that was good. Everybody good? All right, so let's move on to the next topic, okay? Because nobody's answering and they're just shaking their heads. Okay.
Yeah,
I can only do so much. All right, I can only do so much. All right, but anyway, okay. So let's go ahead and talk about what we think post COVID-19 opening up, like, the U.S. and stuff like that, is going to look like for the fitness industry. Because I feel like a lot of people are getting freaked out. I know, like, Marcus is already thing. I think a lot of people are getting freaked out because 24-hour fitness, 24-hour lifetime, and Gold Street.
I think the big box gyms are going to suffer. I think more than half of them will close.
Yeah, I think I 100% agree with that. I think those.
I have a.
Yeah, I think,
my
like,
husband's best friend is a trainer and a manager at 24, and he's like, I'm pretty sure our doors will not reopen.
Yeah.
And he was laid off 30 days ago.
Yeah.
I think places like ours, EP, are going to flourish.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a massive business opportunity for us personally, because we do control who walks in and who walks out, and we have less than 6 people in a group.
Yeah, I think, I 100% agree. It's just, you got, like, I was thinking about it too, like, places that offer classes, like Orange Theory, I think will probably be around for a little bit and stuff like that. Because, like, they can control who walks into the doors of the classes. But if you're going to walk into a gym and walk out, that's not going to be that's like not a thing anymore. Like, and it's unfortunate to, you just want to walk in, walk out, man. I would love to go grab my groceries and walk back out, but that's not going to happen either. We're not talking about that. But I think that's also going to be being able to.
I think this is going to be a great opportunity for people to do more one-on-one stuff as well.
Yeah.
I think people will figure out a way. Not only us as coaches might have to alter our, and I'm not saying you have to alter your pricing necessarily, but if you get somebody that, might not make that much money, but really would like to get healthier, but is scared to go to a gym, that's a perfect opportunity for you, Word of mouth is going to be huge, but I truly believe that, like, personal training is really going to take off one-on-one with people outside at their houses, since people have bought so much equipment over this time. And people are now getting more and more comfortable with working out at their house. But I do think that this is going to be a business opportunity. And if any of y'all work at big box gyms?
I do.
Where do you work?
No, I work at Equinox.
Oh, you are going to be fine. Are you kidding me?
I know I'm going to be fine, but I'm looking at it.
Equinox is going to be fine.
I know that, but things I'm looking at it, and I'll play devil's advocate a little bit at the same time, because we're talking about big box gyms where there's someone maybe closing. That's 100% true. But then you have already a lot of these small gyms already suffering. The fact is that they can't get their either employees, or they can't get some of their members to come in and work out. So that's money that you're not getting in as revenue. So now you're shutting down. And a lot of these companies, a lot of these, like, landlords, they don't care. And they're forcing to pay rent. And that's already put in the deficit. So that's going to affect some of the smaller places. And then at the same time, is for these smaller locations, what are you doing to make sure that once we open back, like once everything opens back up, that you have the safety in mind for you, not only yourself, but your staff and the people coming in. So there's a lot more to think about. And I'm thinking as like, once this whole thing is all done, for the whole community, and the one thing for us, what we need to do is really stress staying consistent, because it might be like another January 1st type of event. People flocking back to the gym, trying, I need to get back into shape. And, you know, they won't be, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, because the summer's right there, but then they fall off once again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
my bad.
that's what we need to like really focus on mostly. Is like, we're gonna have a lot of people coming in, but it's really trying to tell them like we need to stick to like a set pattern, a set, you know, motion to get you into shape, because there was so much time lost. Because even if you're working out by yourself, people will lose motivation easily. And I think we really need to shift gears and like, hey, let's keep that motivation going once it opens back up, because if not, it's going to be January 1st all over again. Everybody's going to come in for 2 weeks and then they're gone again.
Yeah.
Right. You know, the thing is, though, I don't think COVID-19 is going away. I think based off of, and I'm not talking the news, but as far as doctors that I either train or I talk to regularly, you know, we're going to come back down. Everything's going to open back up. There's going to be a spike, then it'll come back down again. Probably will go or at least simmer for a little bit. But once fall rolls around, they're saying that there's a potential that it could be worse than the first round.
Yeah.
So obviously, what can we do? You know, like what EP and I can do, we have a little bit more control over what we can do. And I've already written down an alternative schedule. I'm going to make people wear gloves and then optional for people to wear masks. I will be wearing a mask because I'm going to be having a baby in 5 weeks from when we open. So, and I want people to feel comfortable and safe. So there's going to be a leeway time where we just spray everything down. It might smell like cleaner in there, but we got to keep people safe, you know? It's just, you got to control what you can. And it's going to be a completely different world. People are going to be acting weird for a while. Like, I don't see people just like all of a sudden hopping out. Like when our order ends on Friday, I don't see people going back to normal life. No way. I think people are looking at other people like diseases.
Yeah.
See,
go ahead.
I think with both of y'all are pretty spot on. The way I see it is once gyms reopen, so most of these big box gyms run like entirely on debt. Like when I worked at 24, I had to look at the books, so I got to see like the P&Ls and how close the margins were. They're just awful. So any of the smaller gyms that didn't start their gym off like completely in debt should be doing fine, because they will be able to keep themselves afloat when this starts up. But small groups, kind of like y'all said, classes of 6 and stuff is going to skyrocket. And then as well as personal training, because if anything, all these big box gyms closing is showing that most people don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they instantly got out of shape super fast. Whereas like people like us who have been properly training for a long time, we could probably take like 6 months off, put a month back in the gym, pretty much back to our original baseline. Whereas all these other people who were working out and tweeting and posting it that they were working out, they've been out the gym for 5 weeks and they put back on their freshman 15 and they don't know what they're doing, and they're sitting there doing 3 sets of 10 air squats and all this stuff. So once everyone's able to go out the house, I can see them going into small groups, because people are tired of being by themselves, going into small groups, getting that morale going. And then, you know, if the classes are going good, which they should be going good, then saying, hey, I want to train with you just in case something like this happens again. Teach me these movements that I can do at home.
Yeah.
But as far as big boxes, except for high areas, like downtown Houston, I'm sure those Lifetimes and 24s will do fine.
Like the Onyx levels. Yeah,
they'll do fine. But like our
Baytown
location, I don't know. I don't know if Baytown will survive that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, seniors. Think about seniors. Like, I am wondering about how YMCA's are going to survive, because that's where seniors go.
Yeah.
You know, like I think about the senior population, and I only train like 3 seniors And I know EP trains one of the seniors too. So, you know, that is another thing that comes to my mind because my grandparents are, you know, old and they're like, hell no, I'm not going to the gym. I'm not going back.
Yes.
So maybe they'll come see me. But I'm very concerned about that population for sure. As far as, because a lot of them, especially the ones that have always looked to fitness and, you know, wanted to stay healthy, well, what the heck are they going to do? Because they're the ones that are at really high risk compared to us.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, I think what Marcus is saying, and I think playing his devil's advocate, because he's always wrong anyway.
Okay.
But no, but I think seriously what's gonna happen is, I think you're right. I think that if you didn't do a good enough job to set a culture and to do your job before COVID-19, especially these small box gyms and small gyms like we have, they're gonna fry, and they're gonna fry very quickly. And if they haven't fried already, they're gonna fry in the next couple weeks. But if you went ahead and you did the Zoom classes, you kept the morale, you did all that stuff, people are gonna bounce back in. Now, what I think is gonna happen is, I think people who have those box gyms are expecting people to come just right back in. I don't think that's going to happen either. I think having a hybrid thing going on where like you have some Zoom classes going on for people who are going to freak out, or they'll come in once a week and try to limit like interaction with people, but they want to come in and they got their taste of the gym for a week and then they'll go back to the Zoom classes or something like that. Like having those hybrid online stuff, because let's be real, like online has been great and people are seeing that they can do a trainer at home. Like why would they ever leave their fucking house?
Well, the reason why people will leave their house, especially when these big box gyms open up, is to come out. It's just like the social hour, because for most
it's
people,
also the social hour too. Yeah,
the gym is just a social hour for a lot of people. They don't really go there to work out. They just go there because it's a place for them to hang out with some of their friends. Yeah. And that's one thing that with the big box gyms that's going to win people over over again, is that, oh, my friend I haven't seen for 2 months while we was in quarantine this is why I'm gonna go back, because they want to hang back, they want to hang out again. But I love this person. Even though I work at Equinox, I love the small gyms for the fact is that there's no better feeling of being close and understand, being able to actually like understand that person, to see like how the person moves a lot easier, which is why I love one-on-one training. Even though I love group training as well, because I do it at the same time. It's nothing a little better than being like just be there in a nice environment with like a group of people that you've been working with.
Really, come here, come sit with mama.
Like, okay, this is how you gotta
really
work.
Come sit with mama.
But for you guys, this is like a great time to really market yourselves. Like a lot of people like the small like locations really need to work hard on marketing themselves now, because by the time we open up, if you haven't marketed yourself as a small gym, you're not going that far. And that's what it's really going to be, because if you're trying to compete with a big box gym at a smaller company and you put no advertisement out, you better hope to God that, that word of mouth really reaches a lot of people, because it's going to be tough. So, like, I always say, like, the smaller gyms, this is, like, the best opportunity to, like, market yourself, do whatever you can to get your name out, because people are going to see that and then be like, you know what? I'm going to go there before I go to something bigger, which the whole virus can spread a lot faster to.
Yeah. I think that's
100. No, I was agreeing. Like the community's key. I mean, that's the whole reason why Orange Theory is like crushing, and Peloton are crushing all these other gyms. Not because that's like an effective way to work out. I mean, after like a week, your CNS is trash and kind of doing nothing. But it's just community. Like everyone wants to go see their buddies at the 4:45 spin class and dive for an hour and then post about it. So smaller gyms have that way over bigger gyms, because it's all about a community. Like I'm sure y'all's gym, you walk in the gym and you dap up everybody. How's the kids? How's the wife? How's that foot doing? Like that's gonna play a huge role in all this.
Yeah, that culture needs to start. Like, I mean, if you did, like I said, if you didn't start it before that happened, then you're gonna be screwed. Dustin, you were about to say something, or you were just saying right?
I was just gonna say that those relationships and that culture that was built before all of this happened is gonna play a big factor in the success and failure of gyms and everything once everything does open back up. Because if you have those friends and buddies that go to the big time gyms, oh, let's get the group together and go work out together at the big gym. But for those smaller gyms, if you already have those relationships with your clients and all that stuff, they're going to want to come back in as soon as they can. And then also, I see a big opportunity for remote coaching. I mean, you know, there's going to be, like you said earlier, there's going to be those people that are skeptical about going back out. So offering those Zoom classes and remote coaching at home is going to be big time once everything does open back up.
Yeah, I think as us as coaches, like we need to adapt and understand like exactly what he's saying. Like that's going to be a big thing. And if you feel awkward about it now, like you're going to be screwed if you
want to bring me your bottle,
put into it. I mean, you gotta go ahead and dip your foot.
If you want to bring me her bottle, babe, I'll take her.
So we only got 5 more minutes. So we can go ahead and you're fine.
Hey,
we only got 5 minutes.
This is a super make this way for y'all's gym, but like something my gym does, and it's the reason why I go to my gym for the last year and a half. We do something called Pints and PRs, where it's basically like mock powerlifting meet. And they have like open bar and barbecue, and like after like every lift, so after squat, like all the competitors like shotgunned the beer, took a shot.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And like we did it when she was at her first location. When I went there, after that she got like 15 new members. And as far as like a small gym goes, like that's a huge number.
I think it would be so fun to do like once a month competitions on a Friday night and then have like beer separate after. I think that would be so fun. We do like quarterly parties, and so we'll go to like there's this place called Kitty Trail Ice House in Dallas. It's just a outdoor sitting area bar, and everybody will just come and have happy hour. They'll bring families or dogs, and it's really fun to get together.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, our place is so small. It's literally just a big, massive family.
Yeah.
And so there's probably, I would say probably about half the people haven't been training with us, but I've been talking to them personally one-on-one. And everybody's just so antsy and ready to get back into the gym with the normal routine, not having kids around to interrupt them. So we're so excited just to get back to, for us, it'll be somewhat close to normal. I know it's not going to be like that for everybody, and we're in a very fortunate situation. But I also am excited about some new marketing ideas.
Y'all should
keeping it clean.
Spike quickly, because it's going to be word of mouth. Like, oh man, I don't want to go to my big box gym. Hey, come to this gym. Like,
well, we're right on the Kitty Trail, which is like a huge walking area, and so yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited because I hope it will do good things, but also it'll expand our family. Like EP and I are like super close to a lot of our clients. Like we enjoy being with them, just like y'all enjoy being with your athletes or your clients.
Really?
You know, human interaction.
You remember Krista? I trained her, older lady, not older, she's like in her 40s.
I think so. I think I remember her.
I still talk to her and her husband. I trained her and her husband. I haven't trained at 24-Hour Fitness in 3.5 years. I still talk to them.
It's all about the relationships you build.
All about relationship.
And that goes back to the coaching thing. It's just like, bro, like that's just like that's my like I don't even see people anymore. Like I still talk to a bunch of my athletes. Like it's just like, yo, what's up? Like, how you doing and stuff like that. I mean, it's just love. That's all it is. It's just love and community, relationships and stuff like that. But I think we'll end it on there because I only got like 2 more minutes on this over here. So I appreciate everybody being on the Zoom call and answering these questions. All right, for the viewers that are watching this, I appreciate you sticking with us for the whole like 30, 40 minutes that we're talking. A like and share goes a long way. So if you guys can go ahead, like take a snippet of this, put it on your story, do what you need to do, man. We all appreciate it. Spread the word and we spread the knowledge. That's how we do it. All right. But from the vault, man, appreciate you guys and thank you for supporting each other. And hopefully this COVID-19 can go fuck itself very soon. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon, man. Dustin, good luck with your finals.
Good luck with that final.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
See ya.